Tonight, we'll honor and celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with music, hearing from our winning essay contest winner, scholarship presentations, and keynote speaker, April Rain. At this time, I'd like to welcome Reverend Dr. W. Frederick Wooden, Senior Minister at Fountain Street Church, followed by the Negro National Anthem, led by Miss Jonesy Young.
Good evening. Oh, please. Good evening. Thank you very much. Welcome to my house, a place where I've been preaching for almost 13 years. Welcome to my opera. I'm on the opera board, and welcome to the work of racial justice, because I'm also on the board of the Grand Rapids Urban League. I have 3 reasons to talk to you, but only 3 moments to talk to you at all. The thing I want you to listen to tonight is that every one of you is in the same business that Dr. Martin Luther King is in, because he gave to us the duty to create the world that he imagined and he dreamed. And that's why we are here. To hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. Because all of us have known despair, and the only way to find hope is to chip it away. Chip away until you find the nugget in the middle that gives you the strength to go on. And that's why you're here. So that through inspiration, through testimony, through comradeship, through this community, we can hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope that will see us through the cold and the heat, the dark and the light, until we find that world of which Dr. King dreamed. So we are here to do that, and I say all the people should say, amen.
Let's stand and sing, lift every voice and sing. Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the misty skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you. You may be seated.
Way to sing it, Jonesy. Let's give her another round of applause there. She did an awesome job. Part of tonight's magic is the music. I would like to invite now our 3 presidents that are here with us today, as I affectionately call them, my 3 amigos. Thomas J. Haas, president of Grand Valley State University. Bill Pink, president of Grand Rapids Community College. And Richard J. Pappas, president of Davenport University, to welcome us here this evening. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Eva, and that was a great rendition, and love to be in the pastor's house, that's for sure. Good evening, everyone. Greetings from Grand Valley State University, where it's been a pretty busy day, although the students weren't in class. This marks our 6th year that classes have been canceled on this national holiday to allow more students and faculty and staff to participate in a full day of events, and these events continue throughout the week. I want to thank our longtime partners, Grand Rapids Community College, Davenport University, and welcome our newest partner, Opera Grand Rapids. Thank you for all your hard work to collaborate in bringing this event together here in West Michigan. And congratulations to the recipient of the Grand Valley Scholarships, Jose Cortez from Innovation Central High School, who plans to major in engineering, and Gustavo Perez from Union High School, who plans to go into medicine. The theme of Grand Valley's the theme of this week's celebration is hashtag, where do we go from here? It's the title of Dr. King's final book and the speech he gave in 1967 to the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. In that speech, Dr. King talks about progress made in the 10th anniversary of the SCLC, and he said civil rights dominated news coverage and conversations from around the country and attributed to many people standing up and confronting their oppressors. It's somewhat similar to the hashtag #MeToo movement, the social media hashtag that denounces sexual assault and harassment. Men and women who spoke up and confronted their assailants and dominated news coverage and conversations just this past year. They spoke up this year as the people did in 1967, 50 years ago, because it was simply the right thing to do. Dr. Words had this effect with his words, quote, "There comes a time when one must take the position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular, but he or she must take it because of consciousness tells that individual it is right. It is right." Thank you for coming tonight. It is right. Thank you.
Ooh, good evening. Come on now, good evening. Amen. On behalf of the faculty, staff, students, and Board of Trustees at Grand Rapids Community College, we want to say welcome and thank you for attending the event this evening. It's amazing and it's nice to be partnered with our sister college and universities here in town. It's nice to be partnered with Grand Valley State University, with Davenport University, and as Dr. Haas mentioned, also now with the Grand Rapids Opera. I want to reiterate something that Dr. Haas said. It's been a full day. I don't know about you. I would imagine several of you in this room also were with me this morning around 7:30 as we were able to enjoy the MLK breakfast at the DeVos Place, sponsored by the Urban League. I want to point out Joe Jones, the president of the Urban League, and say congratulations and thank you for a great ceremony this morning. It's amazing because that's what we have to do, friends. We have to partner together. We have to work together. That's what I love about being with the other institutions tonight. And that's what I love about seeing this crowd, is that the only way you can get this work done is if you do it together. And to tonight commemorate Dr. King, I think it's appropriate that I remind you of April 3rd, 1968. And if you're familiar, April 4th, 1968 was the horrible day that Dr. King was assassinated, but I want to talk about the day before just for a second. Because April 3rd of 1968 is when Dr. King gave his "I've been to the mountaintop" speech. And in that speech, he mentioned several things, but what I want to mention tonight very briefly, and we'll leave you with, is one thing he pointed out in that he talked about Pharaoh. And what he said about Pharaoh, he said, one thing that Pharaoh would do is that Pharaoh did something very interesting in order to keep the children of Israel divided. He said, here's what he would do. He would just cause little things. He caused little divisions among them. He caused them to fight and bicker among each other. He caused them something here, something there, just to get them to fight against each other, because he knew if I can keep the children of Israel divided, they will never be able to get together and defeat us, because he knew that as soon as the children of Israel would unite, he had no chance. Now, as you and I all know, one thing about Dr. King and his words is that his words rang true in 1968, and it's amazing how they ring true in 2018, isn't it? Because today, if you and I find ourselves fighting against each other, which unfortunately, that's what we see happening today. When we find ourselves fighting against each other, that is when division happens, and that is when progress is hindered. And so you and I, whether it be that we want to point to national things going on, I'm more concerned about Grand Rapids tonight. Because if Grand Rapids can make sure that we unite as people, no matter what color skin you are, no matter how tall, short, I don't care, whoever you are, that we can indeed unite, nothing can stop the community of Grand Rapids and West Michigan. But we must unite, because as long as we stay divided, it will never happen. So I'm glad you're here tonight, because tonight we're united. And let me encourage you to let the unity go forward instead of just tonight. Let the unity continue just after what we do here tonight, because we have a great night planned. But let the unity go beyond just this moment and just this hour. We're thankful for you being here tonight. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, good evening. I'm a little upset because Dr. Pink stole all my notes. Actually, I'm very pleased to be in the same partnership with the Grand Rapids Community College, Grand Valley State, and of course now the Opera. I also want to recognize Dr. Rayanne Booker, who's really led our diversity initiative. Let's give her a round of applause. I sort of like this, so we're going to build one of these at Davenport. I know, I've never felt so tall. So I was thinking about what's going on today, what's going on in the world. What would Martin Luther King Jr., what would he say? And some of the things that I pulled out are so relevant today, like Bill said. So he said, nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. And it was motivating when I read, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. We need to keep moving forward. The time is always right to do what is right. But I'll tell you, the one quote that really motivated me, he said, we may all have come on different ships, but we are in the same boat. We are in the same boat. So if you came from Africa, if you came from Australia, if you came from Asia, if you came from Europe, if you came from Haiti, if you came to any one of these places, if you're not a Native American, guess what you are? You're an immigrant. Let's say it louder. You're an immigrant. So what I want you to do, I'm feeling the preacher in me now, and that's a little bit of a stretch for me. I want you to repeat after me. We may all have come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We may have all come on different ships, but we are in the same boat now. So let's all oar in the same direction. What do you say? Welcome.
Okay. And now, as part of our tradition every year with our essay contest winner, I'd like to welcome Mr. Rodney Martin, diversity partner at Warner Norcross and Judd, who will introduce the essay contest winner for this year.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again this evening. Warner Norcross and Judd is proud to have sponsored this essay contest in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for the last 13 years. The essay contest is for sixth graders in the Grand Rapids Public Schools, and we are grateful to Malika Brown, Director of Equity and Inclusion for GRPS, for her assistance in providing logistics for the contest. We're happy to announce that this year we had over 350 essays. More than 50 of the firm's attorneys and staff members in our 8 offices around the state judged those essays. We selected 3 winners, including first runner-up Elaine Anderson from the Center for Economicology and second runner-up Shemaiah Dixon from Riverside Middle School. If they're with us this evening, could they stand up and be recognized? In the dark, it's hard to see you. There were also 23 students who received honorable mention, and I know many of them are here this evening. Could they please stand up? And now it's my distinct honor to introduce the grand prize winner in this year's contest, Romani Belcher of Riverside Middle School, and invite her to read her winning essay.
Good evening. A step of faith. Faith is taking the first step even when you can't see the whole staircase. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Let me start out by saying that I'm not a very confident or positive kind of person, almost the opposite. Dr. King, on the other hand, was confident and always saw his glass as half full. His positivity changed our lives for the better. This quote motivated and inspired me to have a little more faith in myself and others. To me, this quote means that you have to have faith in anything you strongly believe in. Even though you might not know what you have ahead of you, we need to keep our faith strong even when we don't know the consequences of acting on it. There was a time when something like this happened to me. A couple of years ago, I was walking to my bus stop, and I overheard an older kid from our school bullying a girl that I hadn't seen before. At first, I did nothing. I just stood there. I listened to what the older kid was saying, and I was shocked and paralyzed. She was calling her ugly and stupid and a whole bunch of stuff just to put her down. I walked up closer. There was a crowd of kids cheering her on. The victim girl was in tears. No one stood up for her. There was a lot of cursing involved too. They had her in a corner now. I didn't know what to do. I was just in a daze, watching, hoping that someone would help this girl, but no one did, not even me. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Without thinking, I shoved my way to the front of the crowd. My heart raced. My mouth opened, but nothing came out. Kids started yelling for me to get out of the way, but I didn't move. Not like I could anyway. I was frozen with fear and no plan. I glanced at the picked on girl. She stopped crying. It felt like we looked into each other's souls. The older kid pushed me, but instead of pushing her back, I calmly talked to her. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it must have been good because I do remember the look on Lily's face. The whole crowd was in awe. I felt like such the bigger person. The older kid said something under her breath and left. Shortly, the crowd of kids left too. I looked into the girl's eyes and she burst into tears. She tightly gave me a hug and I could feel the weights being lifted off her shoulders. I started to cry too. She whispered into my ears 2 words, "Thank you." I never did find out how the whole thing started, but I'll never forget how it ended. That girl and I are still friends to this day. I never thought I could do something so good or changing for anyone. Just like Dr. King, I want to fight without using violence, and I thank myself for giving myself that step of faith.
Thank you, Romani. We have a future writer there, maybe a novel. As we welcome our next speakers, Bobby Springer, Director of Pathways to College, Grand Valley State University. Domingo Hernandez Gomez, Director, Bob and Alicia Woodrick, Center for Equity and Inclusion, Grand Rapids Community College. And Dr. Rayanne Booker, Executive Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion from Davenport University. They will be presenting the 2018 Inherit the Dream Scholarship recipients. And they're slowly coming up here. It's kind of a maze as you come all the way backstage. It's kind of fun. At this time, though, I do want to just take note that we really want to thank our sponsors. You all have a program in front of you. And you can always see those organizations, those businesses, those individuals that help put an event like this on tonight. They're listed in your program. I know they're putting them on the screen here. 32 years, and many times a lot of these sponsors come back year after year so that we can celebrate, we can remember, and we can be inspired. Let's thank all the sponsors that made tonight possible. Thank you so much. And now, the 2018 Inherit the Dream Scholarship recipients.
Good evening. My name is Bobby Springer, and before I bring up the first student, I have to say these words. Today, January 15th, is the actual birthday of Dr. King, if you didn't know that, today. Also, today, January 15th, is my wife's birthday. Cynthia, would you stand up, please? Happy birthday. Do we have anyone else in here whose birthday is today, January 15th? All right, happy birthday. The two winners for Grand Valley State University, Jose Cortez, who could not be here today because he had to work, and we talked about that, and I didn't want to take away from his money, so I said, you need to go to work. But I would definitely recognize you at the event. He attends Innovation Central High School, and he's planning to study engineering at Grand Valley. Jose Cortez. Gustavo Perez, Union High School, he's planning to study medicine, is here with us tonight. Mr. Perez.
Hello and good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Everybody having a good time? I hope so. First and foremost, I really want to thank all of you for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of such a lovely crowd. My name is Gustavo Perez, and I'm hoping that one day it will become Dr. Perez. Becoming a surgeon has been a dream of mine. Since I was in second grade. And it's crazy to believe that I'm now about to graduate and that I'll officially begin my journey in accomplishing that dream. Attending college and having a career has always been important in my family. The fact that my parents didn't have the opportunity to attend due to lack of support and other circumstances makes it much more important, not just for them, but for me, that I attend and graduate from college. My parents have been through so many struggles, and as a result of that, sorry, I got lost. So as a result of that, they came in search for a better life in the United States. Yet those same struggles were what drew them back in Guatemala. My parents still continue supporting me and encouraging me from a distance, making my need to graduate from college much stronger. Education is very important to my parents, and now it has become important to me as well. Thankfully, unlike them, I have lots of support. With the help of my friends, teachers, and Upper Bound, I have become and continue to be an independent and hardworking student. I have become a very focused and dedicated student who won't let difficult situations get in my way. I have become someone who never gives up, someone who keeps trying and remains motivated even when others tell me I can't do it. And that's something I have to thank them and most importantly God for. Thank you for this time, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.
Good evening, buenas noches. I am Domingo Hernandez Gomez, and I work for Grand Rapids Community College. In honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Grand Rapids Community College is pleased to present 2 Inherit the Dream scholarships to 2 remarkable high school students from our community. Our first recipient is Ayaya Beasley. Ayaya is an athlete and a community volunteer. She has overcome many barriers due to learning challenges, but school has always been her priority. Through GRCC's Upper Bound program, she was able to develop skills which have helped her throughout her academic journey. The most important thing for Ajaya is to be a good role model for her siblings. She's a senior at the University Preparatory Academy and is planning to attend GRCC this fall. Please join me in congratulating Ayaya Beasley.
Thank you to the committee. Thank you to the committee who selected me for this opportunity. I plan to be great.
Our second recipient is Laura Espy. Laura is a leader and a mentor among her peers. Supporting her family and giving back to the community is important to Laura, and that is why she is determined to attend college. Laura's ultimate goal is to become a nurse in the neonatal field. She's a senior at the University Preparatory Academy, and she's been accepted to a handful of 4-year colleges, but has yet to decide which one to attend. Once again, please join me in congratulating Laura.
I am African American. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am enough. I would like to thank this community for letting me receive this scholarship to further my education. As I attend a 4-year college, I would also love to thank my support system, my principal, Kenyatta Hill, teachers and counselors at school for helping me. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rayanne Booker, and I'm with Davenport University, and it is with great pleasure that I present the 2018 Davenport University MLK Inherit the Dream Scholarship recipients. For this scholarship, our recipients receive up to full tuition and fees. Up to full tuition and fees. That's excellent. Our first recipient is Kenneth Brewer III. Kenneth was unable to join us this evening, but I want to share with you just a little bit about Kenneth. He is a graduate of Waverly High School in Lansing, Michigan. He is currently undecided in his major, and he shared that this scholarship means a big deal to his family because it will help them pay for college. So that's Kenneth Brewer III. Our second recipient is Lauren Lightsalar. She will be graduating from Holland High School and pursuing a bachelor's degree in business administration. Let's hear from Lauren.
Good evening. This is an incredible honor and an amazing opportunity. I would first like to thank Davenport for granting me this scholarship. It means so much to me to receive a scholarship that demonstrates equality, beliefs, and community service. I have always strived to be a part of my town's great community, and I also want to thank the community for giving me the opportunity to be a part of something. I've created many memories, and I have learned many lessons that I will continue to carry with me through all my new experiences in life. I also want to give a big thank you to my cheerleading coach. She gave me the opportunity to stand for what I believe in when she recruited me to the team. She gave me the courage to fight back on social injustices, and she was my backbone when I participated in my first protest that led to me becoming a social rights activist. Lastly, I would like to thank my mom for raising me to be very independent. I am the person I am today because of her, and none of this would be possible without her. Thank you.
All right. And now, so we can get a little sneak preview about what's coming up later in the evening with the I Dream Opera, I'd like to welcome Darnell Abraham to perform for us.
Somewhere beyond these white stone walls, beyond this present day, far beyond this fetid, filth-stained prison cell, I pray. Way beyond this valley of despair, where there's no hope, so it may seem. I dream all heaven's children, white and black, will live in peace. Learn to value unity, mercy will increase. Beyond this tribulation, and to silence me, oh, make my voice mainstream. I dream of a better day than this. I dream of a wave of freedom nothing can resist, and that wave will wash all the tears away of this bitter day away. Wash it all away. I dream this blessed nation might fulfill its founding creed, that all men are born equal with a fair chance to succeed. Diversity and harmony and rhythm singing glorious theme. I dream of a better day than this. I dream of a wave of freedom nothing can resist, and that day justice rolls my brother in love flows like a mighty stream. I will sing and freedom ring, let freedom ring, let freedom ring.
In this dream, we voice opposition to all forms of bigotry, including racism, sexism, and classism. One day, all of our children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Keep your eyes on the prize. Don't be dismayed.
Martin Luther King was not only a patriarch in his own family, he was a patriarch for the world community. This was a man who God blessed and he touched and gave him the voice, gave him the vocabulary, gave him the charisma, gave him the passion and the vision to stand up and say, this is what I believe in and this is what I want to see.
It was, in fact, the African philosopher who declared that there are two important days in the life of any human being. The first day is the day that you were born. The second day is the day that you discover why you were born.
So it's a lot of blood that got us here where we are now. Because 30 or 40 years ago when this thing got started, we couldn't have been here sitting like we sitting in this town tonight, okay?
So we are, as the great poet laureate of Illinois taught us, Gwendolyn Brooks, we are each other's keeper. We are each other's harvest. We are each other's magnitude and bond. We are responsible for one another.
Understand that we all must turn that mirror around and determine what role we play in this game to make ourselves better. Because here's the reality. We are, for better or for worse, tied to each other.
But it is so important to have that dream, to have that thing that pushes you on frequently when the road gets tough. And sometimes that's the only thing that will pull you through.
So when we talk about the victories of the civil rights movement, we have to acknowledge that these are our victories, and we can shape our own philosophies if we act together in pursuit of justice.
We have all these children who don't know what happened. How can they appreciate the power of education if they think it comes with no cost?
And you know that there's so much work to be done in modern America. If we truly are to say that we are a country where we understand the hope that the dark past has taught us.
Americans of all colors, we have made tremendous progress. So that if I close my eyes in 1960 and then open them here in 2010, I might actually believe that what I see are the signs of full inclusion, but I ask the question, is it an illusion?
If you do nothing, nothing changes for ourselves or for the generations that come after us. And if we don't know that we, in this room, were the ones who did it, we won't know that we can do it again. And that's when the other side wins.
You begin with the protest, but you have to move on from there. Out of protest, you have to move on to another stage. We are at one of those turning points in history where we need revolution. And revolution means reinventing our culture.
We are the beneficiaries of the dream.
We've inherited it. We've got to claim it. We've got to live it. We've got to embody it. And then we've got to run our leg of the race.
It's one thing to say, oh yeah, I love hip hop. I love rap music. Yeah, hip hop for life, baby. But do you love and respect the people it comes out of?
It's going to take each and every one of you. And don't point to your neighbor. Don't look at your neighbor, because yes, I'm talking to you. And you, and you, and you. You have to be a part of the change that you want made.
Even if the odds are long, you should have faith in you. You should have the faith that if it's 1,000,000 to 1 shot, well, I got a shot.
If you want hope, you need to see the miracle that's yourself in the mirror right now. Even if it's just 2 people, you gotta find someone else who's willing to struggle and go through this thing with you. You can't do it by yourself.
Let's make more history this year now. I'd like to welcome Mr. Ovell Barbie, Senior Vice President of Human Resources at Spectrum Health, who will introduce this year's keynote speaker.
Good evening. I'm glad that I'm following the video versus the song, borrowing a line from Brother Joe Jones. Spectrum Health is the only locally owned not-for-profit health system based in West Michigan, offering a full continuum of care throughout our network. Spectrum is West Michigan's largest employer with more than 25,000 employees. We are proud to serve as a sponsor as we honor Dr. King's legacy. Dr. King helped define the role of a servant leader, showing by example what it means to offer an inclusive vision, listen carefully to others, persuade through reason, and heal divisions while building community. Our mission is to improve the health of the communities we serve. We recognize that we cannot do the work alone. In recognition of Dr. Martin Luther King's incredible legacy of service, positivity, and change, Spectrum Health employees give their time throughout this entire week, not just today, to better the lives of the people in our community. Our employees work and live in the communities that we're volunteering in, and we at Spectrum Health are very proud that they take time out of their day to invest in our communities. This week alone, about 500 employees will volunteer their time to the betterment of our communities. Now, for the highlight of the evening, it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Ms. April Rain. April inspires others to use their voice to create social change, challenge the status quo, and to increase inclusion of underrepresented communities in the media and in the world. Named one of the top 15 accounts on Black Twitter by the National Journal, April is one of the social media's most influential voices on race, politics, and pop culture, with more than 70,000 Twitter followers and still counting. As the creator of the rallying cry and viral hashtag #OscarsSoWhite, she challenged the lack of representation of marginalized communities in Hollywood, resulting in the most sweeping changes in the history of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences. A writer, editor, and former attorney, she is now a prominent activist working to build on this movement toward greater diversity and equality in the entertainment industry, which includes her work as managing editor of Broadway Black. On stage, she shares her provocative yet affecting perspective on the pursuit of social justice in the era of digital and social media, the progress that the film industry has made since #OscarsSoWhite, and what Hollywood could do to be more inclusive going forward. Please join me in welcoming April Rain.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to say to Fountain Street Church, to Grand Valley State University, to Grand Rapids Community College, and to Davenport University, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you all coming out tonight. It's cold, it's snowy, and so let's get to work. Let's talk. So let me set the stage for you. Picture it, Sicily, 1922. No, I'm kidding. Only the older folks will get that one. It's a Golden Girls reference. But in January 2015, I was getting ready for work. I was still working as an attorney at that time. And so I was down in my family room getting dressed. April, why were you half dressed in your family room? Well, thank you for asking. I will tell you. Chris Hemsworth, the gentleman who plays Thor in the adventure movies, was presenting the nominees that year. Chris Hemsworth. So I needed him in high definition on the biggest screen that we had in the house. So I was getting ready in my family room because Thor was speaking directly to me. Now, I need you to understand that at that time, I was just a moviegoer like everyone sitting out in the audience. I had not at that point met John Boyega from Star Wars or Ava DuVernay or 1,000 other names that I can drop your way to make you jealous. At that time, it was just me being who you are today, right? And I was invested in movies. I mean, the Oscars were like my Super Bowl. So I pre-gamed, special snacks were made. I did the pre-game show with the red carpet, and then I watched the show itself. I was live tweeting the show on Twitter, and then I'd watch the post-show, and then I'd watch the fashion do's and don'ts the next day. I was invested. So I'm watching as I'm getting dressed in the morning, and for some reason, it struck me that every single category for those in front of the camera and behind the camera, the group was amazingly homogenous, right? And even those people that were behind the camera in mixed gender categories like best director, or best cinematographer, or best editor, it was all men. And I don't know why it struck me. I guess I was inspired by the lightning bolt of Thor. I don't know. I don't know why, but that particular year, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. So I picked up my phone, which is never far, and I tweeted one thing. Oscars so white, they asked to touch my hair. Now, I made that one little comment. I got finished for work and went on. I came back to Twitter around lunchtime just checking in, and the hashtag had gone viral. It was literally trending around the world based on one tweet. Now, I intentionally made the tweet as sarcastic and petty and snarky as I could think to do, and so that's what the responses were. So it was, Oscars so white, they wear Birkenstocks in the wintertime. Oscars so white, they have a perfect credit score. Oscars so white, they wouldn't dare putting any seasoning on their chicken. You get the idea. So I rolled with it. And it went around that way for a couple of days, and it wasn't until a few days after that that the conversation actually changed into something much more serious about the lack of diversity and inclusion at that time initially just about the Oscars, those particular awards that year. But now we've seen, it's going on 4 years now, that the conversation has broadened to something more about the lack of diversity and inclusion, not just with respect to film, but the entire entertainment industry. So along the way, we have seen some incremental progress. Most notably, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which runs the Oscars, has committed to doubling the number of people of color and the number of women in the Academy by 2020, and I will be right there to ensure that they do so. So I tell you this story to say that you don't have to be a famous person to make a difference, right? If you think about who Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was, he really started his activism in his 20s. I mean, he was a new preacher, and he sort of got thrust into the spotlight. You don't also have to have a bazillion followers on social media. You know, when I started Oscars So White in January of 2015, I think I had under 10,000, which is still a great number, but it's not the obscene number that I have today. So what you do have to do is meet people where they are. And right now, they're on social media. And I'm sure that there are some people in this room tonight who don't get social media or perhaps are only on a platform that allows them to see their grandkids that live in a different state. That's why my mom's on social media, because we don't live close to each other. But just as Dr. King went to Selma and went to Montgomery, you too have to make an effort. Social media does not have to be an inherently scary place. There are courses taught, there are books written about how you can navigate the various platforms successfully. And you just start by following the people and organizations that share an interest in something that you like. I had no specialized knowledge whatsoever. I mean, I was an attorney, so you would think that I was smart, but then you look at Congress and remember that many of them are attorneys, and so it's not clear anymore, right? So I joined Twitter when I was 37 years old, and I fought it until the last minute because I didn't get it. I thought, you know what? I have absolutely no interest in what Kim Kardashian had for lunch today. There's no need for me to be on Twitter. So I'll just stay here on Facebook with my friends from high school. But I tried it, and I realized that I was completely wrong. So apparently you can teach an old dog new tricks. I created Oscars So White in 2015 when I was 44 years old. I look good, tell me. I look good. But my point there is, in addition to me looking awesome, that there is no age limit on learning or on activism. Once I realized that Oscar So White was actually going to be a thing, I had to read everything that I could to become an expert on the lack of diversity and inclusion. Because again, all I did was pay my $15, and sometimes the $10 for the matinee, but I didn't have any specialized knowledge. Now, I can tell you easily that in the 90-year history of the Academy Awards, we've only had 4 women who have been directors, nominated for Best Director, and only 1 in 90 years has been actually the winner of the Best Director Award. But I had to learn all of that, and I had to do it quickly. During the days of Martin Luther King, whose life we commemorate today, there was obviously no internet or social media. The civil rights movement used the tools available at that time. So to find out when the next rally was, you had to wait until Sunday to go to church because that's when they announced it during the announcements, right? Or you had to read a Black-owned newspaper. We don't even have many of those left anymore. Or you had to see a flyer on the tree, but mainly it was word of mouth. And social media is just that. It's word of mouth in a much grander scale. So this also meant that in the 60s and the 70s, the civil rights movement was very geocentric. There was no need for you to find out what was going on in Detroit if you lived in St. Louis, because the chances of you being able to get off of work or get out of school so that you can travel there in time were slim to none. So all of that has changed today. We can look at the Black Lives Matter movement, and where we can now mobilize people around the country in just a few hours' notice because of social media. We've seen similar results with the Women's March and the protests against the immigration and Muslim ban. Pursuing justice in the digital age means that we can reach more people with further reaching results than we ever have before. But let me back up for a second. What does the justice we're pursuing even look like in 2018? What is it that we're supposed to be pursuing? Because the concept seems to be fleeting when we can't even get a grand jury indictment when a cop guns down an unarmed child. When dozens of women can accuse a man of sexual assault and harassment, and he goes on to hold the highest office in the land with no accountability to those women. When people in this country are persecuted because of what they look like, who they love, or the God that they pray to. The point is that the role of each generation is to move forward as far as you can to prepare the next generation. Change is hard, it is uncomfortable, but it is necessary for progress. As we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. King, we must ask ourselves how much change is being made. On MLK Day and every day, we must recommit ourselves to the tenets that King espoused. The work is difficult and it is unforgiving. I am not doing a rainbow speech here tonight. As King said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Unfortunately, we may not be as far along that arc as we may have hoped. The issues affecting us will not be solved in a lifetime, and perhaps not even a generation. But it is our job to bend that moral arc as far as we can, because the alternative is defeat, and that has never been what this country has been about. We take pride in the incremental progress that we make, and we recommit to doing even more, because the pursuit of justice is a relay race, not a 100-meter dash. We take the struggle for liberation as far as we can, and then we hand it off to the next generation. As King said, a riot is the language of the unheard. This language remains as relevant today as it was when King uttered it over 50 years ago. Consider how many schools are more segregated now than they were during Brown versus Board of Education. How Muslims are being persecuted because of their faith. How supporters of the Confederacy and Nazi sympathizers are carrying torches and inciting violence, leading to the death of Heather Heyer in Charlottesville. How immigrants who have lived in this country for years are being deported to countries with which they have no ties. how veterans are returning home from armed conflict, protecting us, and are provided with little to no resources or support, how women are paid less than their male counterparts for the same work. People in the LGBT plus community are still living in secrecy far too often for fear of persecution. So physical protest is another effective weapon along with social media, as King knew. Let us not remember just his words, but also his actions. Martin Luther King was just in his 20s when he helped coordinate the Montgomery bus boycott, which lasted more than a year and brought the city to its knees. Too often today, we hear that protests for justice and equality are being done wrong. They're too intrusive, they're too loud. But one wonders how this country can laud King on one hand, whose efforts shut down public transportation in an entire city, but chastised Colin Kaepernick, also in his 20s, for his peaceful protest of taking a knee at a football game. You cannot have both. It was King's desire that we each examine our role in the fight for civil liberties, justice, and equality. It is not enough to consider ourselves simply allies in the fight. Instead, we must put our heads down, listen more, and do the work of improving the lives of marginalized communities to which we do not belong. Then and only then might we be considered an ally by that community. But accomplice, not ally, should be the goal. An ally is one who acknowledges there's a problem. Oh my God, you are so put upon. I don't know what to do for you, but I see your struggle. That's an ally. And that's fantastic for about 90 seconds. And then you gotta get on, right? The accomplice is the person that says all of that, but then says, I have a privilege that you do not have. Let me stand with you and in front of you so that I can make your job, your life a little bit easier. That's what we need. Accomplices, not allies. The accomplice is one who acknowledges that there is a problem and then commits to stand in the gap for those less fortunate than themselves without hope or expectation of reward. There will be no cookies or gold stars at the end of the line. King spoke of this in 1967 in his book, Where Do We Go From Here? He said, why is equality so assiduously avoided? Why does white America delude itself, and how does it rationalize the evil it retains? The majority of white Americans consider themselves sincerely committed to justice for the Negro. They believe that American society is essentially hospitable to fair play and to steady growth toward a middle-class utopia embodying racial harmony. But unfortunately, this is a fantasy of self-deception and comfortable vanity. This statement was addressed to white moderates and liberals of the 1960s, some of whom may have considered themselves allies to the causes of equality and justice. But as King said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. That means that us seasoned folks need to let the millennials lead when they're ready to do so. We have to step back and be there to counsel millennials, but we must let them soar. I think we see in Congress that folks get elected and sometimes literally forget where they came from. They forget who elected them and how much help the folks at home still need. And then they get comfortable and are only interested in staying put. Well, that doesn't allow for any new blood, and it definitely doesn't allow for any new ideas. So the same is true for our leaders and icons in the community. The best of them know when it's time to step aside and let the younger folks step up, especially at this time when everything that we know about justice and democracy has been turned on its head. We must find ways to pursue justice by any means necessary. Little Malcolm for you there, because we're talking about him, okay? So decide what your issue is. Maybe it's environment and climate change. Maybe it's diversity and inclusion like me. Maybe it's getting a radio station in Grand Rapids that's owned and operated by people of color. So all of these things are in pursuit of justice. And then learn what your issue is. Learn it backwards and forward. Write about it, speak about it, become an expert. There's no time like the present. Remember that Fred Hampton was just 21 years old when he was killed, but he left an indelible mark on the civil rights movement. I caution you, as you do the work, to ensure that you practice consistent and unapologetic self-care, whatever that means for you. So maybe it means reconnecting with your folks and binging on Netflix, right? Maybe it's going to see your grandkids unexpectedly. Please call first. As the mother of kids who are grandkids, please call first. But you can't make the world a better place if your personal well runs dry. So make sure that you replenish yourself. You know how on airplanes they say in the event of the emergency, the thing is going to come down in oxygen, and so you need to put it on your mouth first and then help somebody else out, right? I've always thought that was really selfish, but in fact it's not, because you cannot take care of others before you have taken care of yourself. And you should never apologize for that, because it is also part of the struggle. I also say to you, especially the younger folks in the crowd today, that you do not have to have it all figured out at 25 or 35 or even 45, right? So I hear a lot of people saying, oh, you know, I'm turning 33, this is my Jesus year, which okay. This is my Jesus year because Jesus did all this stuff when he was 33, and I'm turning 33, and I still don't know what to do with what you like. I am a walking, living example that you do not have to figure out what you need to do until it's time for you to do that thing. So figure out what it is that you want to do, because that's what's most important. I say to people, figure out what it is that you would do for free. Don't ever do it for free. But figure out what that thing is. Figure out what that thing is that gets you so excited and passionate and motivated that you don't mind going to work on a Monday morning. You know how we dread it Sunday night? Oh my God, I gotta put my clothes out. I really don't want to do this. Maybe I'm gonna call in sick, even though I'm not really. Figure out what that thing is that you want to do 24/7, and then shape your career around that. Figure out how you can make this your entire living. You may still need to work your 9 to 5 for a while, but hopefully you will find a way that you can pivot into something that makes you happy every single day. I am there now. It took me until my 44th year, so Jesus plus 11, to figure that out. But it was absolutely worth it, and I have never been more happy in my professional career. The last thing I will leave you with is that we cannot wait for anyone to save us. There is no one coming. So what are you prepared to do? How will you fight for the liberation of people who have less than you? Everyone must do their part. So figure out what yours is. What platform do you have? Where do people look to you for guidance? As we commemorate the life of MLK, we look to this day as one of service. Commit today to the thing that and the issue that you will serve: the disabled community, a specific ethnic or racial community, the LGBT plus community, a gendered or genderless community, whatever it is that turns you on. Use the social media tools at your disposal, determine what justice looks like for you, and pursue it until you've not only gotten yourself free, but have brought someone along with you. Because freedom alone isn't liberation, it's isolation. So let's get free. Thank you.